Hello, friends. So yesterday, Friday, I wanted to throw on this yesterday, but I couldn't. Our Director of National Intelligence, Daniel Coates, had a press release statement that he established the intelligence community election threats executive. This is such great news. On the flip side, I also saw now today that Trump is thinking about getting rid of him. So I'll throw on that after I read his press release. July 2019. Director of National Intelligence Daniel R. Coates today announced he established the position of Intelligence Community Election Threats Executive, ETE, and appointed Shelby Pearson to serve in this new role. The ETE will serve as the DNI's principal advisor on threats to elections and matters related to election security. Additionally, the ETE will coordinate and integrate all election security activities, initiatives, and programs across the IC and synchronize intelligence efforts in support of the broader U.S. government. Election security is an enduring challenge and a top priority for the IC, said Coates. In order to build on our successful approach to the 2018 elections, the IC must properly align its resources to bring the strongest level of support to this critical issue. There is no one more qualified to serve as the very first election threats executive than Shelby Pearson, whose knowledge and experience make her the right person to lead this critical mission. Ms. Pearson served as the DNI's crisis manager for election security during the 2018 midterm elections and has over 20 years of experience in the IC. Additionally, Coates directed all IC agencies and departments with a role in election security to immediately identify a single senior executive lead for election security. These agency leads will work with the ETE to help ensure IC efforts on election security are coordinated and prioritized across all IC elements. Coates also announced the creation of the IC's Election Executive and Leadership Board chaired by the ETE. Members of this board are senior executive leads from across the IC and all relevant U.S. government organizations. The board will serve as the principal vehicle for IC-wide coordination and focus on election threats. Isn't that great news? So happy when I saw this. So I want to throw on this and find out exactly what specifically inspired or were the most important events that they were thinking of when they developed the ETE. Okay, so I was so pleased to see that that press release from DNI Coates. He's a good guy. In the past, I think I was a little worried about him, but between he and FBI Director Wray, I've been very pleasantly surprised. And so I thought they did a pretty great job with the 2018 elections, but I might be biased. And so I'm curious to know what specific events was DNI Coates looking at with the Intel Committee to draw up a need and a plan for the Election Threats Executive. And I love that apparently this Shelby Pearson sounds incredibly qualified. They're really excited about her. Okay, so universe. Cut my deck. What do we have here on the bottom? Oh, this really inspired our election security. Dark money, shell corporations, and the influence of money and where the money's coming from. That is interesting. Okay, and so what was the primary reason? The focal point for the election security executive. Judgment. Because apparently this says to me that they perhaps did not judge our elections to be fair. They investigated them and our elections have not passed the test. And this is here to stay, the judgment on what happened with our elections. That is good, especially with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. They're going to get it right, which is very good ahead of our Pluto return. That makes me very happy. What's covering this? The government. They saw a need. They judged that the government needs to kind of oversee things and step in. The challenge was 10 of coins, 10 of pentacles, which usually represents the Trump dynasty. It goes back to the challenge with money. Dynasties, billionaires, insane wealth. That was the challenge. At the root of this was how fast things could happen, and also the need to implement this quickly. There's a need. We needed this long ago, so they're fast tracking it. Crowning this is the 8 of coins, 8 of pentacles. This is data, how data is used. This could also be how our voter rolls are used. It could also be how maybe even our e-polling books. No one ever really talks about that, and the e-polling books are where they check you in, even if you have voter ID or voter registration card. They check you in, and then the e-polling book decides, I think, whether or not you get a ballot. I was denied a ballot, even though I had everything. Okay. In the past, what happened that was important for ETE? I think this has to do with how fast everything with our elections could get out of control when it comes to the money, the influence, the data. We're in a whole new world when it comes to elections, and that this problem has spread quickly worldwide. That is really interesting. What's to come? That didn't feel right. What's to come? Here we go. A different perspective. A different perspective on how we look at our elections, how they're implemented, how they're organized, everything, top to bottom, how we look at our elections, and we look at our election security. Okay. So, how do we see this impetus by D&I codes? How is it viewed? Having the upper hand. He's got the upper hand. This is a battle that he's gone through, he's fought for, that he has researched very well, that he's consulted a board, he's consulted so many. He has the upper hand, and he believes we need to have the upper hand. And I hope it includes Facebook, having the upper hand, because there's the data. This is also my Facebook card and my Mark Zuckerberg card. This is very interesting. Okay, so the environment of the development of the ETE is, one more time. Oh, my goodness. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? The environment is the magician. I truly wonder if this has to do with the hacking of elections, numbers, and how things are so easily alterable. This is my Kim Jong-un card, my election hacking card, the digital aspect of everything with our elections. Wow, that is incredible. The hopes with this ETE is to protect our elections. You know, usually this 9 of Wands is being battle weary, starting to get a little burned out, but I also see this as security, that we hope that we have incredible security. And I find it interesting that this is also the MBS card, or my Saudi/UAE card, because don't forget, and this is another thing I'm going to read on later, is about George Nader. What did UAE and the Saudis actually do to our elections? So there's several components that this covers. The fear in the development with the ETE was, what's the fear? The star. Okay, so the star represents several people. The star represented when Trump was candidate Trump, and everyone behind the scenes wanted to make him the star, the winner. The thing I think about is Felix Sater and his email to Michael Cohen about, we're going to get our buddy president of the United States. Fear of having that happen again. Fear of not electing the actual star, the person that it rightly belongs to. Fear of pissing off Trump. What's the ideals of the ETE? The ideal is that whatever happened to Hillary Clinton with the election in 2016 never happens again. That we are never blind to our elections, that we're never blind to our security, and that we won't be blinded by propaganda. They really thought a lot of this through. And so, what's to come? What's to come from ETE? What's to come? The High Priestess. You know, she kind of guards the veil between the conscious and the unconscious. I hope that means the High Priestess is guarding our consciousness of our candidates and not letting things slip through the veil to our subconscious to get us to vote in a way that aligns more with propaganda and information war. I like this. And so, yes, you can hear my puppy dog whimpering. The Nine of Cups, Trump campaign, dark money. I think I have a lot of major arcana. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major arcana. They got this right. They got this right, you guys. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Miss Shelby Pearson, our first ETE. She's a veteran agency leader, has been appointed to serve as the first election threats executive within the intelligence community, or IC. In order to build on our successful approach to the 2018 elections, the IC must properly align its resources to bring the strongest level of support to this critical issue. There's no one more qualified than Shelby Pearson. She served within the intelligence world for more than 20 years. She was crisis manager for election security for the 2018 election within the office of the DNI, and also has served in top roles in the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. Ooh, Space Force, huh? Her appointment isn't the only change that Coates announced Friday. He's also directing other agencies within the extended family of spy services to appoint their own executives responsible for election security efforts. That is such good news. So the different agencies have different responsibilities, gathering, analyzing, and acting upon the information that they bring in. The FBI was responsible for much of the investigation of the Russian interference in 2016, for example. The CIA runs human agents overseas. The National Security Agency and U.S. Cyber Command focus on the global information grid, and so on. So all of them are going to play a role. The intelligence community was not structured to handle the breadth of threats to American elections, which can range from sophisticated cyber attacks to widespread threats against state and local, etc., etc. The headlines on Friday about Coates' efforts within the intelligence community also provided a reminder about what could be his perilous position within the administration. Anonymous sources told correspondents for several news organizations earlier this month that Trump had been considering firing Coates, who's never appeared to mesh well with the president, because the intelligence community and Trump disagree, there's tension, over findings versus his wishes. And so let's look at Shelby Pearson. Shelby Pearson, 20 years experience in the National Geospatial Intelligence. Whew, that sounds fancy and smart. Tell us about Miss Pearson. Tell us about Miss Pearson. Tell us about Miss Pearson. Universe, cut my deck. Oh, she is moving quickly. Messages are going. It seems like she can just readily filter through information and she should be a tarot reader. So let's give us, what am I doing? Let's just do it quick. So tell us about her and her qualities. Does she specialize in hidden money and elections? Oh, I like her already. Tell us more about her. She's like an answer to our prayer. She has expertise on this, on protecting our elections and ensuring what happened in 2016 doesn't happen again. Probably identified how all that came to be through all the information she's sifted through. She's got this. She's totally got this. She comes from such a position of strength. Donald's going to hate her. Three of Swords. She understands the heartbreak of what happened. Also, the Three of Swords, you need to think about the balance between two people about an agreement. Balance between two parties. Balance between two candidates. She's aware of these factors. This is probably one time I like to see that sign, and she probably was heartbroken over the chaos. And obviously she did a great job in 2018. What's to come? What's at the root of all this for Miss Pearson? Oh, look at that patriotic lady. Ace of Cups. Cups is watery, but Cups can also be defensive. Defending our emotions, defending our integrity, defending who we are. She's good. She is really good. Okay. Now I'm going to transition. These are such nice cards, and now I'm going to go to the dark side. My poor Rider-Waite. I have to stick with these Rider-Waites with my Trump readings because I just don't like that spilling over into my other deck. So that's why my readings have been kind of bland with this Rider-Waite. I think I'm on my third Rider-Waite. And I just ordered a fourth one, and I don't like it at all. It's such bad quality. I'm going to give that one away, for fun. Okay, so Donald, rumor has it that you are thinking about getting rid of DNI Coates. There was a name that was thrown out there. I'm not even going to repeat it, but I just want to know, what's the likelihood of this happening? Why do you want to get rid of DNI Coates? He seems like a nice guy, seems level-headed, seems kind of smart, but there's tension. There is lots of tension. Okay, universe, cut the deck. What do we have here? You want to get rid of DNI Coates because you have a secret. I've seen this High Priestess as a function of how information is used and moved among the Six Swans mob. And you're right, DNI Coates does not operate that way. Okay, why does Donald want to get rid of DNI Coates? First thing that popped in my mind was President Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. Because they have a really good system that's going. And, you know, Ivanka has all those trademarks on those election machines. It's very emotional. Gee, you know, Donald, I wish you could make a decision from the intellect, but yours is always on drama. The truth is in the background, but the big show is in front about what we're going to distract you with. Okay. What's covering your reason to get rid of DNI codes? Because you want to bind up the Democratic nominee. You want a repeat of what you did to Hillary Clinton. Challenge, the challenge is money. The challenge is also Junior. The challenge is that you're not going to be able, because Junior and Eric, they both were doing, you know, a lot of errands with transferring money and deals. I am like surprised at how much Eric Trump was involved in, you know, this stuff with data and money and payments. At the base of this, because of the GOP, the Putin, what's crowning this? Why you want to get rid of codes? Julian Assange is gone. No more dark money, because you want to be able to keep suppressing the votes. Interesting. DNI codes. So far, this is only about elections. Nothing about national security. In the past, Trump dynasty got elected by this. Future? Oh no. I think he wants to get rid of DNI codes. How do you see DNI codes? How do we see Donald doing this? This is Putin and Donald, because Putin probably doesn't want him there. The environment, new perspective with a new person. Hope to avoid this. Sorry about that. I didn't interrupt you. Actually, this hope to me is not only DNI but codes, but I think this is what Donald wants to do with all of our intelligence agencies, because they stabbed him in the back. Truth hurts, because he doesn't want to believe. He won't accept it. Fear, Donald, about DNI codes, getting rid of him. The fear is that if he kept him, Donald has to walk away. The fear, yeah, his fear is Donald has to walk away because of everything. Yeah, he wants to get rid of him. Ideally, Donald, what? You want to be comfortable and cared for forever. Maybe he'll put Ivanka in. How about that? No, that's not the name that I saw. It was some, one of them. And what's to come? I really wish this was Donald going to jail, but it's not. DNI codes, I think, is probably on the retreat, with the exception of this order that he did. Donald, what's this about with DNI codes? He's fired. He's gone. Okay. Till he gets word from overseas. Okay, so I have no idea how to read the timeline on this with tarot. That's something I would have to look at with my astro charts, but we are coming up to, starting Monday here into Monday, Tuesday, as we head into our first quarter moon with Leo, and we're going to be hitting some major eclipse points with sudden jolts ahead of that time. I mean, enjoy today, and tomorrow it's kind of sweet and quiet because it's going to be, we're going to pick up right where we left off. Unfortunately, we're going to have jolts, triggers. Your job is to do what? Take care of you and the ones that you love. It's hot out there. Please check on those who need well-being checks around you that you know. Elderly, just keep your eyes open, okay? Okay, thanks you guys. Thank you so much for watching.